Have a look at these two. This is the NDP debate. Question period. So is this the same thing? New far left Canadians start arguing over quality cards at the 2026 NDP Leadership Convention. I was standing here with my gender equality card before you called on the previous speaker. That's my point of proof. I want everyone to be mindful that these cards for individuals like myself who identify as Black women have no value outside of this space. What? Okay. I remember watching a part of this. And I couldn't understand why they kept saying point of privilege. McGrock. Looks so similar to chat. We'll open a new chat. In the NDP Leadership Convention in Canada, I kept hearing the phrase point of privilege. What are they referring to? That's how they word it, right? Okay, here we go. I'm not going to drag it down, is it? Okay. In the context of the recent 2026 NDP Leadership Convention held in Winnipeg, where Avi Lewis was elected as the new leader, Avi? Lewis. This is the guy that was elected as the new leader. All right. The phrase point of privilege was repeatedly invoked during debates and speaker cues. Standard parliamentary meaning. Point of privilege is a formal term from parliamentary procedures rooted in Westminster-style rules used in Canadian House of Commons, provincial legislators, and many organized meetings or conventions. It allows a participant to interrupt proceedings to raise an urgent matter that allegedly affects their rights, the assembly's dignity, or the ability to conduct business properly. Examples include alleged breaches of members' rights, issues with the meeting conduct, personal privilege. So it's a way to bring up like it allows president to interrupt proceedings. Okay. Chair must usually recognize it promptly because it has high priority and can interrupt a speaker. But you're not supposed to use it very often if it's something that interrupts everything. I think from a point of order, which is about enforcing the rules of debate more generally. Let's see how it's used.
The point of privilege on microphone 1, then we'll go to microphone 3. Go ahead, delegate.
Yes, hello. I was standing here with my gender equity card before you called on the previous speaker. That's my point of privilege that I would like to raise.
I will explain the speaking order, which is fixed.
You're interrupting proceedings.
That I cannot amend, which is the pro-con rotation. You can move yourself up a line that you're standing in.
I am pro, and I was,
We went,
you went,
Like, these are people that are here just bringing up issues, right? Yeah, that seems like a silly reason to interrupt proceedings. See what else shows. Okay. We have shoved Canada Post so far into the market mindset that every few months we have a national conversation about why isn't Canada Post making money? Does the ambulance service make money? Do police services make money? Talking about a fundamental public service. I largely agree with that. Like, Canada Post, there is, like in Canada, you still have private delivery services that operate. And Canada Post, if you're going to put it up against like an Amazon, it's never going to make money. It's a service that ensures delivery to all Canadians. Having it make money, like, this is something that costs money. Says about it.
To the market mindset that every few months we have a national conversation about why isn't Canada Post making money? Vashi, does the ambulance service make money? Do the police services make money? We're talking about a fundamental public service, and we are so soaked in the market mindset that we expect the post office to make money. It's a public service. It's not for making money. It's for delivering mail to Canadians as part of a fundamental public activity. And that's the mindset change that we need to make public corporations work. In the Second World War, the Minister of Everything, C.D. Howe, created 18 new crown corporations, and Canada played an unbelievable role in fighting fascism in Europe. We need a mission moment like that in Canada, and I think we can have one. We have shoved Canada Post.
I mean, I think he's saying the right thing there. The NDP just elected leaders whose own provincial leadership rejected him on day one. Saskatchewan's NDP, ideological and unrealistic. Refused to meet him. Alberta's NDP, not in the interests of Albertans.
So this is the guy that took over for Jagmeet Singh. His name is Avi Lewis. And if you don't
Avi
know,
Lewis.
the flag that you saw flying around behind him, it's not a Canadian flag. It was the Palestinian.
Oh, like, ouch.
flag. And I want you
Is that what that is? It's certainly not the Canadian flag. Back to where they're waving
that took
it.
over for Jagmeet Singh.
Palestinian flag. Yes. There. Oh, grabbing the wrong thing. I mean, it does look like the Palestinian flag.
His name is Avi Lewis. And if you
But also at the same time, it doesn't look just like the Palestinian flag. Let me check that. At the NDP leadership convention, did they wave the Palestinian flag? see. Yes, a large Palestinian flag was waved on stage. Oh, like Trump had the American first thing right. You want a leader that is Canadian first to lead Canada. Waving around the flag of another country does not make you look Canadian first. And like that's just always going to be bad optics. It's just always going to be bad optics. There's nothing you can do about that. Oh, thanks for the follow. Hey, homie, I can share your stream at Kit Community to help you hit 1,000 followers, 800 viewers. Also, Hearn, add me on Discord. Maybe. I will look into that later. This occurred at a conclusion of the convention. Like, I've seen some clips of him, and he was saying, the Avi guy was saying good things. This is not a good look. This is a bad look. Let's finish.
You don't know, the flag that you saw flying around behind him, it's not a Canadian flag. It was the Palestinian flag. And I want you to know something about Avi Lewis. And here's the reality about this new NDP. It's no longer the NDP of Jack Layton, the one that used to represent workers. That party today is now the Conservative Party of Canada. And what I do want to tell you about Avi Lewis, the new leader of the NDP, is, as I mentioned, even though he won the leadership yesterday, that party, it's already tearing itself apart. You see, the Saskatchewan NDP leader, Carla Beck, she sent him a public letter on official legislative letterhead, refusing to meet with him. She called his positions ideological and unrealistic and effectively the antithesis to the values of a party built for the working people. The Alberta NDP leader, Naheed Nenshi, he put out a statement minutes after the result saying Lewis openly cheered for the defeat of the Alberta and
So he's not even liked inside his own party. How did he win the leadership convention?
NDP government, and his direction is not in the interests of Alberta. His own provincial leaders, they can't stand him on day one. Now let me tell you something else that you probably don't know about Avi Lewis. He attended Upper Canada College. That's one of the most elite private schools in all of Canada. Tuition goes for about 40 grand a year. His grandfather led the NDP. His father led the Ontario NDP. He married Naomi Klein, a best-selling author, and she's worth an estimated $5 million and charges up to $50,000 per speaking engagement. They live in a wealthy area in Toronto where homes average about $2 million and up. This is the man that is telling you to tax the rich and calling his campaign anti-capitalist. He has never held elected office, and he ran twice and lost both times. He's a filmmaker endorsed by Jane Fonda. His platform is to kill all fossil fuel development, including LNG.
Seriously? What is the new NDP leader, Avi Lewis's take on fossil fuel development? You're too new, Avi Lewis. Even the AI isn't putting you in there. Auto corrected your name out. Newly elected federal NDP leader takes a strongly oppositional stance towards fossil fuel development in Canada. Oh, like I do understand that as a society and a world, we have to transition away from fossil fuels. They are destroying the environment. Global warming is a problem, but can't just take a strong turn. Like, look at what's happening. The war in Iran right now. Interrupt 20% of fossil fuels, and it screws over everyone. Like, they're too integral to the entire economy to be strongly oppositional to them. Like, should be investing into this and then using the finances, the money you make, to then provide better services to the people. Like, our country is rich in fossil fuels. Taking a strongly oppositional stance, not a good stance. Like, I know that they're trying to do something different because their last leader absolutely tanked the popularity. And it looks like the new guy, Avi Lewis, is also going to tank the popularity. We're going to end up in a two-party system plus Quebec. That sucks. Because some of what he says sounds good. And then you look into it and it's like, if you want to like tax the rich and lower the taxes on your middle lower class, need more income to do this. A place where you could get more income is fossil fuel development. I don't see him doing well. Let's finish listening to what this guy was saying.
To end all pipelines. He wants to tax
Like, literally, that is what we need more of.
oil exports into the US, and we saw how bad that went when we tried. There are 40,000 jobs in Saskatchewan alone tied to natural resources, 900,000, almost a million across Canada. This is over $14 billion of economic activity, and he wants to get rid of all of it. Carla Beck reminded him that Tommy Douglas, the founder of the NDP, celebrated pipelines being built from Alberta to Saskatchewan. He called it a major milestone for the province.
Absolutely.
Her closing line literally says it's impossible to support working people without respecting the jobs they have, not the jobs you think they should have. The leader is a disaster.
I agree. So far, everything I see shows that this is going to be a disaster for the NDP. How do I phrase this? Canadian riding map. I love that I don't have to type anymore. Let's see what kind of seats. Images. This looks like it or that. $2015. You know what? We'll just ask Rock. How many seats does the NDP party have and where are they located? As of late March, because I know they lost seats. hold 6 seats in the House of Commons. This is down from 7 seats. Breakdown: 1 in Alberta, 3 in BC, and Manitoba and Quebec. Like, you're not doing the things you need to do to get more seats. Let's hear him actually talk. The New Palestine Party in Canada just elected a Jewish guy. Here's his victory speech. You will own nothing. Great reset, just reset. Will they fall for it again as prices explode? I mean, I don't see this guy gaining any power. Honestly, I see him losing power for the NDP. So this is his victory speech. I'll watch this.
The Prime Minister is very popular at the moment. He's a smart guy, and most Canadians still want to give him the benefit of the doubt. That's fair. But I think when you connect the dots, his moves do not add up to the vision that Canadians truly want and deserve in this perilous moment. $500 billion in a decade for weapons to make Canada a major arms exporter in a war-torn world.
I mean, Europe and Canada are massively expanding military spending. Leaning into the arms industry right now is a good idea. Like, I believe Canada should be building factories to produce weapons because the demand that we're about to see, there's been several massive political events: the war in Ukraine, the war in Iran, U.S. generally shaking NATO. This is all causing military spending to go up. I mean, it's better to have the military production than to not have it. It'll bring in money for the country. Like, we might as well be the ones to do it. That sounds like a good plan. Getting into the military development right now.
Canada, a major arms exporter in a war-torn world.
Think, like, where does he think money comes from? Like, you need industry. This is a good chance to improve Canadian industry. Like, the US tariffs are doing damage to the auto sector. You could move that auto sector from vehicles to military goods. It would save thousands of jobs. You could make thousands of jobs. Like, from a working person's perspective, it's better to develop industry.
Slashing our cherished public services. Sweeping aside Indigenous rights.
Okay, I don't know enough about either of those.
Full steam ahead, no regulations on AI.
Let's go! I didn't know he was doing that, but like, wait, where'd the guy go? Here. No regulations on AI. What is Mark Carney and the Liberal government's take on AI? So, oh, Rock. No, that just means I go to one of your competitors, right? So, like, AI is going to need regulation. But generally developing AI and in the development of AI, I believe there should be low to no regulation. It's going to be an industry that changes the world. And as much as I believe it's currently in a bubble, the fact is when the bubble pops, those left standing will become incredibly powerful companies that will lead the direction of the world. Okay, let's see what it says. As of early 2026, Mark Carney's leadership of the Liberal government has centered on a value-based realism approach to AI. Carney artificial intelligence is a tech trend. It's the primary engine for solving Canada's long-standing productivity gap. His administration stance can be broken down into three main pillars. The productivity revolution in government. Carney's most direct impact is mandate to use AI to build a cleaner, more responsive bureaucracy. All right, that just sounds good. The Made in Canada sovereignty strategy. Rejecting the arms race between the US and China, the Liberal government has pivoted towards digital sovereignty. Sovereignty compute, a major focus is on building domestic AI infrastructure. Good, like the AI Fabric initiatives, so that Canadian data stays on Canadian soil, isn't dependent on foreign big tech platforms. That sounds all good. Green and ethical AI. Carney has championed a principled and pragmatic path, emphasizing that Canadian AI must be environmentally sustainable, addressing the high energy use of data centers, and ethically sovereign to protect domestic institutions from misinformation. This does not sound like an all in, no regulation on AI. Like this sounds like how you should be approaching AI. Trying to get data centers and stuff on Canadian soil. Because I think compute is going to be important in the future. Okay. Regulations and governance. After the previous version of the Artificial Intelligence and Data Act stalled in 2025, government doubled down on formalizing oversight. Minister of AI is a significant move. Carney appointed Eva Solomon as Canada's first ever Minister of Artificial Intelligence, Digital Innovation. Probably should have had that a while ago, but better to have it now. Guardrails, the current task is regulation by doing. While a full legislative framework is still maturing, the government uses voluntary codes of conduct, strict procurement rules for any AI used in the public sector to set the standards for private sector. I mean, AI is still so new, right? The human nuance. Interesting, Carney often balances his tech-heavy agenda with a warning against the tyranny of the average. He argues that as AI hegemonies routinely work, uniquely human skills, empathy, critical thinking, and the ability to read a room actually become more economically valuable. In his view, AI handles the math so humans can handle the meat. Using AI as a tool. I mean, I kind of like his take on it. This guy's defaming him for it. I mean, this does not seem like a good pick.
And pipelines. In the last federal election, Canadians voted to say no to Trump and Trumpism. What they're getting instead is our government following the US into a future of wars, fossil fuels, austerity, and job-killing generative AI. Our NDP has a different offer for this country. Our plan is to Trump-proof the economy by investing massively in Canadian economic independence, using
like our oil, right? Let's build refineries so that the oil we produce can turn into like gas, diesel, plastics, and then we can move up the value chain, and then we can sell those. That's the kind of development you're talking about. That's not the kind of development he's talking about, is it?
the unmatched power of public ownership to ensure the fundamentals of a good life.
So that one, actually really interesting. I think it was a documentary on Italy I was watching, where co-ops are a much bigger thing there. People that work own a part of the company, and so how the company does will essentially raise or lower the value of what they own in the company. And it that works actually rather well. Giving people ownership over their labor does seem to be productive and help bring stability. So he does have some good ideas. It's just so many bad ones.
A network of public providers for food, phones, and internet.
I mean, you do have to do something about the phone companies. Like, it's not a monopoly, it's an oligopoly, but it functions like a monopoly. And we pay way too much. That does need to be handled. Internet? I don't know about internet. What else did he say there?
And internet, public providers for food, phones, and internet.
Food has the same kind of issue where there's like an oligopoly. There's a couple just big chains, but I mean, largely they provide food at a cheap cost. Honestly, I haven't seen too many. Like, there's going to be issues. Like, an oligopoly can't exist without causing problems. So introducing like a public service aspect to it, I don't see that as bad. Like, what was it, Madami down in the U.S. in New York, trying to create public grocery stores. The best comparison I could make is the commissary system in the U.S. for those that are in the military or family of the military. They have like a whole separate chain of grocery stores go to called commissaries, and they work off a different model, and they're usually significantly cheaper. So that system can work. Internet's so divided. Like, I don't think the internet has aggregated enough to warrant the government stepping in. I don't know. I could be wrong. They could be consolidating very quickly.
A public housing developer and public construction companies.
Housing is going to be so weird. Like, we had such overinflated housing costs. I don't know, like if you control taxes and incentives right, I think the market does pretty well with housing construction. You gotta cut regulation, you gotta fix some zoning problems. But if you did that, I think you would solve most of the housing problem. Like eventually, because there'd be more new starts and more construction. Um, I'd say you lean into that long before you try and create like a government housing setup. There's somewhere in Europe that does that. One of those small countries. Look at a map. Is it Belgium? Go over to your the Netherlands. I think it was the Netherlands. They had social housing. Let me check this. Does the Netherlands use social housing? And if so, how many people percentage wise live in it? Because the video I was watching, or the documentary I was watching, they have significant social housing, but they need more. And there's always demand for more. And there's always demand for more because some of the fundamental underlying issues were never addressed. So the private market couldn't provide the housing. So they needed to lean on social housing. And like, I mean, unless you're going to socialize the whole lot of it, I think it's easier and cheaper to cut regulations, change zoning laws, and allow the market to bring down prices. Yes, the Netherlands has one of the most extensive social housing systems in the world. 2026, social housing accounts for approximately 29 to 30% of the country's total housing stock, which is the highest percentage in the European Union. Unlike many other countries where social housing is managed directly by the government, the Dutch system is run by housing associations. These are private, non-profit organizations that are legally tasked with providing affordable housing for people with lower incomes. Where was this again? Netherlands. I remember seeing demonstrations for more social housing in the Netherlands. If so much of their housing is already social housing, why are there demonstrations for more? Oh, I didn't quite get that right. It's a bit of a paradox. How can a country with the highest percentage of social housing in Europe still have thousands of people marching in the streets for more? The short answer is that while the supply is historically high, the shortage is currently critical. As of 2026, the Netherlands is facing a deficit of over 400,000 homes. Here's why people are demonstrating despite the large social housing sector. The wait time crisis. Even though 30% of homes are social, they almost never become vacant. Why would you leave if you have social housing? Because the private market is so expensive. That's what you have to solve. You have to make the private market cheaper. People who get into social housing never leave. Of course they don't. result wait lists in major cities like Amsterdam, Utrecht have reached 10 to 17. Oh my goodness. If you can't get a house for 17, like is that even social housing? Whoa. Protests. Young people and students feel like they are being locked out of adulthood. They feel like that everywhere. Forced to live with their parents well into their late 20s or 30s. Squeezed middle. Okay, yeah. I think I've gotten what I wanted. I mean, I don't want to go too far down that rabbit hole. It's back to what we were talking about. Still got some time on the speech. Chat was blocked. All right, here we go.
To build millions of non-market homes. A 21st century electrical grid, an EV bus revolution, and a heat pump in every home. Built with Canadian steel, e-bus revolution.
Okay, let's slow it up.
A 21st century electrical grid.
I mean, investing into the electrical grid is always good. That kind of infrastructure, like, always helpful.
An EV bus revolution.
Buses. I mean, like, there's the transition to the EV car that in at least in Canada and the US, I don't think it's gone as well as they had hoped. Like, maybe EV buses are a good idea to make them cheaper. I don't know, like that doesn't seem like a big point to me.
And a heat pump in every home.
Heat pump, so AC in every home. Get ACs pretty cheap from Walmart nowadays. And they've got nice ones that the heat pump cord, just put the cord, big tube out your window. Got AC. I don't think that costs very much to get good AC nowadays. The electrical grid is what you have to develop out to allow that more, right? That seems like a small point.
Built with Canadian steel.
Like, yeah, it's Canadian.
Creating
okay.
tens of thousands of unionized jobs.
I mean, unions are good. I mean, oh, that's the end of it. Be honest, I don't think he's gonna do better. Like, I wouldn't vote for him. Both the liberals and conservatives are doing significantly better than that. Not all of his ideas were bad. I just don't think he's gonna go anywhere. Let's see, what else are they saying? New transgender delegate, the Canadian NDP leadership convention. Complained that her quality card didn't, like, you can't blame a crazy person for coming in and being crazy at a convention. This is something you open up to allow people to speak. The crazies will come, all right? They'll come, they'll ask stupid questions, They'll make everyone look stupid in the process. The fact that they have an equality card is kind of weird. I will admit that. This is just a speech again, right? All right. I think we can successfully say the NDP are going nowhere. I'm not going to look at more stuff. I'd rather look what the other parties are